Hattie and Adina, vacation. Marie and Chuck, exploring. And Nia gotta decide, Ben or Tristan. Let's get into this episode 7 breakdown. This is 20s, season 2. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. The theme of this episode was centered around a film festival, specifically Moon Dance, what I think is so poignantly and comedically played off of the amazing film festival Sundance. I absolutely adore Sundance Film Festival. I go every single year. It's an amazing experience. And I feel like they hit so many things right about specific film festival plot points and beats. But in this episode, we get to see Hattie and Marie headed off to Moon Dance. Marie actually invited Hattie, and Hattie brings Adina along because now they are going kind of strong. Hattie actually turned in her first class ticket that Marie gave her to get 2 coach tickets so that she could turn this into a whole vacation. And while Marie is a little bit annoyed, she kind of gets over it because she a little preoccupied with actually doing her job, trying to buy a film, and Zach. Yes, the studio boss that is with her on this trip. But before we jump into Marie and Zach, let's talk about Hattie and Adina. Because for the most part, we do see them having really, really great chemistry in this episode. They are vibing. There's little things that they're learning about each other, like when they arrive at their accommodations and it doesn't look like the pictures. And Adina lets her know, like, yo, I'm used to things being organized. You didn't even verify this place before we signed up or before you booked us here. I don't like feeling like I don't know what's going on. So we get to see a little bit about her personality trait. And then we already knew that Hattie's a hot mess that's winging it as she goes along. So Adina is learning that, but we're getting to see how that actually plays together. But then they also have a lot of cute moments where they release and they apologize and they just kind of go with the flow. So we do see that they're actually vibing together. Now, I think that they could have a really great moment a little bit later. I'm still of the camp of feeling like, Hattie needs to take some time. After the relationship with Ida B, she kind of jumped into this thing. And I'm just like, girl, you need a little bit of space to figure out what you got going on. And I think that that's going to be a reoccurring thing that starts to puncture at all of the relationships that she has. Specifically in this episode, we see them navigating the film festival, but from the points of screenwriters who aren't necessarily movie execs like Marie and Zach are. So they don't get the first class treatment. They don't have tickets to everything. They can't get into all of these things, but they're still navigating. Hattie actually runs into a mutual friend who has a film in the festival who offers to show her pilot script to her manager. And this creates one of the biggest moments of contention for Hattie and Adina in this episode because Adina doesn't think that Hattie's script is ready to be passed along to a manager, and Hattie just wants to take whatever opportunity that comes to her. And it's twofold because part of it was like, I get it. Hattie's like, yo, I need you to believe in me. And I felt that because you got it. You missed like 100% of the shots that you don't take. So at this point, it's like she should definitely take the shot. But I understood where Adina was coming from in reference to her being mindful of her first impressions. And if the script wasn't ready, it wasn't ready. So we actually get to see them go back and forth and kind of have like this tug of war around this idea of Hattie sending her script to this girl to pass along to her manager. And ultimately, Hattie chooses to do that. And Adina definitely supports her in that. But she does speak honestly and candidly about where she feels like her script is, how she feels like she should have a few passes with the group a little bit more. And to me, this is so spot on to what it's like when you're working with like a writer's group or writer's partners. Nobody ever really knows, right? Like, and I speak from experience in having multiple pilots that I've written, being in multiple groups, and you could think that you're ready. You could think that you're ready to take your thing to the next level, but somebody else doesn't, and they're going to voice that. And it's very hard to navigate sometimes what is constructive criticism, what is something that you should pay attention to and hold your script back versus what is something that you can listen to but then decide to still push forward. And I just thought they captured that tension and then that whole communication around that so very beautifully in this episode. But ultimately, Hattie does get to send this off, and then they also make it out of the episode really more grounded and connected, having had these honest conversations and this little bit of tension. Now, for Marie and Chuck have decided to explore. Marie gets to the festival and Chuck has sent her a little bear and flowers to say, like, explore and enjoy yourself, relax, all of that good stuff. And she's been vibing with Zach. So on this trip, they actually are doing the rounds. They're on panels together. They're going to see films. Zach is really, really excited about trying to actually get a movie purchase at this festival and trying to change the trajectory of the studio and relying on Marie to actually do so. They confide in each other, they get closer, and then ultimately they wind up sleeping together. And I'm like, thank God, because this whole little back and forth banter that they got, this little unrequited love tension, whatever this is between them, was starting to get annoying to see. I'm just like, if you're gonna go for it, Marie, go for it. Otherwise, leave this man alone, because he is literally fawning over you every chance he gets, and it's a little bit sad to see. So shout out to Zach for going ahead and getting his in this episode, and finally Marie taking a chance and taking a risk. You could tell it was beautifully written for Marie to struggle with the idea of actually exploring, and her walking into the decision that she put up within, her relationship. Because while she wants, Chuck to go out there and experience different things and to be sure about her before they get married, she has yet to allow herself to walk into that freedom, into that exploration, and gave herself permission to do so. But we see that in this episode, and I'm like, go on, Marie, sis. This is what I'm talking about. Now, back at home, Nia is starting out the episode on a date with Tristan, and then finishing out the episode on a phone call with Ben. Tristan actually brings up Ben, and it's so crazy because I think that Tristan and Nia have such beautiful chemistry. Tristan is so different and grounded, and I think that he could be so great for Nia. But then on the other hand, Ben is very confident in the same industry, but still needing of a little bit of nurturing, which also feels very great for Nia. So sis, I don't know which one you finna choose, but you got two great choices, I think, to be able to choose from. And honestly, she don't actually have to make a choice right now. Now, while, Tristan does ask who Ben is, and he doesn't necessarily give full on jealous energy, you can see that that's something that's going to be brewing once Ben finds out about Tristan, especially after he just dropped Lauren the way that he did in this episode, because that was a little bit ghetto. But go ahead, do what you gotta do, Ben. I definitely think he's gonna be kicking up a little bit of jealous energy, and it's gonna be interesting to see by the end of the season where Nia falls on this love spectrum, because right now her career is going really well, and now she just has to figure out what she's finna do with love. All right, y'all, that is the full breakdown for 20s episode 7, Dancing in the Moon Dance. I absolutely love this episode. It really reminds me of my experiences at Sundance, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my 20s videos or any of my other breakdowns of amazing television series. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.